Good afternoon. Welcome to the final Assembly Budget Subcommittee on Education Finance. This is the part 2 of the agenda today. We're having our closeout of the Prop 98 package. With that, please call the roll.
McCarty.
Here.
Chavez. Irwin. Kim. O'Donnell. Kim.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Again, this is the final hearing today. We'll be closing out our Prop 98 package as well as our Assembly Early Education Plan. And certainly we've had many hours of discussion throughout the spring, and we're to a point where we're ready to move on to the next chapter. And certainly pleased with the package we have before us. We'll have some vote only, some discussion items. The public should have a copy of the plan in the back. It's online as well, and I'll try to summarize each action before we have a vote. So before we proceed with the vote only items, are there any opening comments or questions from committee members? Okay, seeing none, we're going to do each issue 1 through 13. Read the item, have a vote. Issue number 12, just to prepare, we're going to ask Department of Finance and LAO and the community colleges to come up and talk more about issue number 12 related to the academic senate and the community colleges. So we'll begin. Issue number 1. This is the community colleges, Prop 98. This is related to enrollment funding. I'm looking for a motion to approve the governor's budget proposal.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Mr. Chavez? Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Issue number 2, California Community Colleges, cost of living adjustments. Looking for a motion to approve the May revised proposal.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Issue number 3, the Institutional Effectiveness Division. Looking for a motion to approve the governor's budget proposal. Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Issue 4, Community Colleges Data Security. Looking for a motion to approve as budgeted the governor's proposal.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Issue number 5, Community College Apprenticeship Rates. Looking for a motion to approve the May revised proposal.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Issue number 6, Community College Mandates. Looking for a motion to approve the May revised proposal.
Second.
Motion second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Issue 7, Proposition 39. Looking for a motion to approve the May revised proposal.
Second.
Okay. Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Issue number 8, Telecommunications and Technology Infrastructure Program. Looking for a motion to approve the May revised proposal, $5 million ongoing and $7 million in Prop 98 2015-16 general fund support.
Second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Issue number 9, looking for a motion to approve the May revised proposal related to the Compton Community College loan.
Second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell?
Chavez said aye too.
Chavez, aye.
Chavez, aye. Issue 9. Issue 10, the Community College Apportionment Adjustment. Looking for a motion to approve the May revised proposal.
I believe this is the one item you asked to pull.
Yes. Was it this one or the Academic Senate?
Oh, academics. Okay, sorry about
Yes. Okay, yeah, it was issue 12. Okay. So we okay with that? Make a second here? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Issue number 10.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Mr. Chavez?
No.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
No.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Okay. Issue number 11, related to various technical community college adjustments. Looking for a motion to approve the May revised proposals. Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Mr. Chavez?
Aye.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Okay, issue number 12. We wanted to pull this item and bring up the Department of Finance, the LAO, and the community colleges to have a discussion on this issue. So we should just have finance. Assemblymember Kim, did you want to start with the questioning on this
I have a
topic?
quick question. I haven't seen the original request, but it's my understanding the California Community Colleges asked for $500,000, but we are allocating $300,000. So could you explain to me or break it down and what the additional $50,000 that you're asking for us that we'll be allocating today?
I'm happy to explain some of the. Obviously, this is something that came in the May. Oh, sorry, Mario Rodriguez with the Chancellor's office. We had put in, you're correct, $250,000 in our board's request that we submit to the Department of Finance and the legislature. Because of the work that they've done in recent years with, there's two big projects that they've carried out. The biggest one is the Associate's Degree for Transfer. Our Academic Senate has carried much of the weight for our entire system in making sure those degrees are not only approved at a statewide level, but also at the regional level. And also a common course ID project that they've carried out over the past 4 or 5 years. So our request was primarily to fund that. However, in the May revise, the governor's May revise also included a requirement for the Senate, which they're good with. They support to establish another work group specific to CTE that's in alignment with our strong workforce program. And so because of those two things, we feel like the $300,000 is very appropriate and we support it.
So the extra $50,000, will that be one time or is it ongoing as part of the budget allocation?
Sure. Chris Ferguson with the Department of Finance. It is proposed as ongoing funding. So in addition to what Mr. Rodriguez had mentioned regarding strong workforce, we've also proposed the one-time zero textbook cost initiative. We also know that the Academic Senate will be weighing in on basic skills topics in the coming year, and those are continuing items that move forward that need to be reviewed, that need faculty input, and we think it is a reasonable request at $300,000 given those three things that we're asking them to do. And both the $200 million for strong workforce and the $30 million that is proposed for basic skills, I know the Assembly package repurposes that for the first year, but all of those are ongoing commitments.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Thank you. Looking for a motion and a second to approve the May revised proposal.
Second.
A motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Mr. Chavez? Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim? Mr. O'Donnell.
Okay, last vote only item, community colleges, April finance letters, issue number 13. Looking for a motion and a second to approve the April finance letters. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Mr. Chavez? Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim? Mr. O'Donnell.
Okay, actually, one other vote only item. This is Department of Education, issue number 14, CTE Pathways Program Finance Letter. Looking for a motion to approve the April finance letter.
Second.
Motion is second. Please call the roll.
Mr. McCarty?
Aye.
Mr. Chavez?
Aye.
Ms. Irwin?
Aye.
Ms. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Okay. The item passes. Thank you. Just a quick break, real quick, right here.
Sorry it's late. I've been quicker, but I was a marijuana.
Okay, now we're going to proceed to the Prop 98 spending plan for the Department of Education and the Commission on Teacher Credentialing. We want to invite up the Department of Finance, the LAO. Want to bring up the Department of Finance, the LAO, Department of Education, and the Community College Chancellor's Office. Okay, thank you. We're going to go over now the Prop 98 portion for K-12 and K-12 and CTC and community colleges all at once. The public should have the handout in the back as well as the table outlining the expenditures. If not, they're online on the website. Not going to go through them all one by one, but just give a brief overview of some of the major highlights in our Prop 98 package, and certainly ask the Department of Finance, the LAO, Department of Education, and the Chancellor's Office to comment at the end. So certainly, you know, this reflects another positive year in the economy in the state of California. While not as robust as a package as last year, this provides us an opportunity to reinvest in our public education system, expand access to early education, as well as work to improve and expand access to our community colleges. And just on the highlight notes for the revenue levels, we are assuming the LAO's estimated property tax amount, which has a slight difference from the Department of Finance. We're also rebenching the Prop 98 minimum guarantee by $9.9 million due to savings in the Prop 47 expenditure. Overall, this budget proposal before us dedicates over $3 billion to further implement the local control funding formula, getting us about halfway there where we need to be by 2021. This proposal provides about $1.25 billion in one-time discretionary funds, also paying down our K-12 mandate. We want to make sure we continue our great after-school programs in California, providing $73 million in ongoing Prop 98 general fund support to augment the ACES program in order to cover costs related to basically not having an increase for nearly 10 years, as well as implementing minimum wage laws that have already been enacted, as well as future minimum wage increases. We're going to focus on restorative justice expansion in California, trying to keep kids in the classroom and not at home and with suspensions and so forth. So we're going to put $20 million in one-time funding to increase Prop 47 grants to be administered by Department of Education to fund this. We're going to be addressing our teacher shortage and basically crisis in California, dealing with trying to get more teachers in the program. We had some earlier actions this morning and yesterday, and here we're going to be providing $20 million in one-time funds to reestablish the California Paraprofessional Teacher Training Program, helping classified employees and other paraprofessionals enter the workforce, providing financial aid for them to do so. We're going to be providing $4 million in one-time funding to expand the existing school breakfast startup grant program, helping kids do better in school by making sure that they don't go to school hungry. The Breakfast After the Bell program, we think, is something that warrants our attention. We're going to be dealing with the issue that, I saw right here in our own community trying to enter our kindergartners in the public school system. Some kindergarten classrooms are full day, some are part day. We want to change that over time, providing an incentive for schools to provide full day kindergarten throughout California. We are going to take an action which was basically a conforming action to subcommittee number 1, the Human Services, Health and Human Services section dealing with Prop 63 and mental health, providing $6 million in one-time Prop 63 admin dollars to focus on a 3-year pilot project to integrate mental health, special ed, and school climate interventions at our K-12 school system. And lastly, in the K-12 system, we're going to we heard from our students and individuals engaged in student councils. We think they made a compelling case. We're going to put $150,000 in ongoing support for the Association of Student Councils to increase their programs. As far as the community colleges, we are going to provide the $75 million base apportionment increase as proposed in the May revise. We're going to approve the $200 million for the Strong Workforce Program with trailer bill language directing 75% of the funding to go to colleges and 75% go to colleges, the Chancellor's Office, and 25% to the regional consortia. We're going to provide increases for the Puente program, part-time faculty, as well as full-time faculty categoricals, hoping to bring them back to funding levels that they were before the recession. We heard a very compelling case for the need for more services for our veterans, people returning from serving our country, trying to get an education to enter the community college system. Therefore, we're going to be providing $15 million to support veterans with veteran resource centers, helping them succeed in college. We have promise programs, college promise programs all across California. We could certainly do more. We're going to provide 15 to support regional promise programs, the California College Promise proposal. And lastly, we're going to provide $30 million in ongoing support to augment the basic skills categorical, increasing what we did last year to help young people succeed in navigate the community college system and either get a certificate or get a transfer opportunity. That was a mouthful. We think it would say a robust package that we have before us today to help us expand access for higher education, to make sure our K-12 system works for everybody. We'll be dealing with the early education piece in a few moments. So with that, I wanted to allow the Department of Finance and the LAO, Department of Ed, and the community colleges to provide any commentary, and then we will have commentary and questions from the members, and then hopefully adopt the package. Department of Finance.
Good afternoon, Lisa Merzinski with the Department of Finance. Having just received the package not long ago, we're not in a position to support this plan. Thank you.
LAO.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Kenneth Capon with the Analyst's Office. I think the Chair gave you a good summary of what's in the Assembly package, and we're just here to answer any technical questions you may have.
Good afternoon. Deborah Brown with the Department of Education. Overall, I would say we support the direction that the Assembly package is going, particularly the investment in the local control funding formula, also the investment in some one-time funding for districts. We still continue to ask that some of that money be directed for standards implementation. We also support the increase in funding to address the rates issue for the after-school program, and appreciate the continued support for the Governor's proposal to provide $30 million for MTSS. We think that's a really important way to address and provide supports for our students. We also support the $20 million provided for the paraprofessional teaching training program and the $10 million for the Commission on Teacher Credentialing to provide the grants for the 4-year credentialing program. We also support the $2.5 million for the California Center on Teaching Careers, and would note our support for the $150,000 for the California Association of Student Councils.